Boom, boom, boom. I've got thunder and lightning today, so it's going to be kind of it'll be a little weird in here, maybe. I don't know. We don't have any rain, of course, but we got something in from Vevor. They do a lot of consumer grade stuff, but they also do commercial grade stuff and sort of like, industrial type things. So we've got this in from Vevor, and it's just like, this is going to be really cool. But there was two different applications on this one. And I thought about it because if you're doing anything round, maybe a round pipe or something, and you want to cut it with, say, like a plasma cutter, this would make that the most accurate cut ever, I think. Yeah, it would do like an amazing job. But also, if you're welding pipe, two round flanges or anything like that together, and you're doing something round, this again is what you want. This is like a sort of like a powered turntable. So we're going to get out of the box and we're going to take a look at this thing. It's Vevor, and it's really cool, and it's a great price. If you have a welding shop, you really need to take a look at this. Yeah. Wow, okay, I've got it out of the box. It is called a welding positioner. And the idea, of course, is if you have different, pipes, like if you're doing custom headers, that kind of thing, something cool like that, you can put your pipe on here. Now this will go up to 2.5 inches. It'll hold the pipe in this lathe. It's like a lathe chuck right here. I got everything out, and I haven't even cut this cable yet because it comes with a foot switch, which is really cool because you can use your foot to turn the table as you need it. In other words, you can put your object here, start welding on it, and turn it, stop, continue your weld, turn, stop, continue. Basically, you could work at one spot on a round item, and you can keep turning it as you need to while you're welding, especially if you're into TIG welding. This thing can really be awesome. But MIG, anything is cool with this sort of thing because it turns the product for you while you weld. Yeah, so let's talk about the features of this particular welding positioner. We're going to start with the 3-jaw chuck up here. It goes up to 2.5 inches. We have variable speed here with this little knob right here, so we can go from 0, all the way up to I think it's about 12 feet per minute, per second, something like that. Anyways, it'll go up. It's variable speed. Now, turning it on the side here so you can get a good look at it, but what you can do is you can unlock this to the welding table, because this is basically your welding table right here, your work area. You can tilt this all the way over to 90 degrees. Actually, oops, a little past 90 degrees. And at that point, you could have your pipe or whatever it is you're working on in here, and you could work and weld horizontally, or at, I guess you could say, whatever angle was suitable for the type of weld you're doing. And remember, using the foot switch, you can jog as you want to move the part around that you're doing the welding on. Now there is one caveat, and I'm just going to point that out, and probably best to put a welding clamp or something up on here to get your best connection to the table. There's like I guess we'll call it like a big copper brush that runs between here to the table that's sort of like spring loaded to push it, to keep the contact for the electrical welding, through here, because obviously this is the other side of your weld. This is going to be your, I guess we'll call it your ground side, whether it be negative or positive, depending on the type of welding you're doing. Now on the other side here, we also have an on and off switch to start and stop the whole machine over. Now you also have another switch which is clockwise, or you can 3 position, and you can put it all the way up and go counterclockwise, or in the center, of course, it's going to be neutral. Nothing should happen. The whole thing is constructed nice and heavy too. She's made of heavy steel, so she's mountable. You can bolt her down, and you also have some other features out here if you want to add more extensions or items onto this table. Now there's 2 pins here, and these 2 pins that come with it are for doing this. Now I'm going to just put this in here, here and here, and I'll just turn it so you can see it. But one is on the bottom, one's on the top, and all this is just to adjust the jaws, so you can open the jaws up or close them down depending on what you need. Next feature would be right here. This is an emergency stop switch, and the only time I've ever really seen something like that come in handy around a shop is when something has fallen heavy on the foot switch and it won't shut off, or it's broke, at that point. So you hit the emergency stop. Yeah, we're talking experience here. Okay, I found a piece of pipe out in the shop, and I've got a hole in it here, and the hole is so that you can see this thing rotating, because it's slow, but it's on camera, it'll help. And this is the foot switch actually. Now when you press the foot switch down, you can see it's going to rotate. When you let go of the foot switch, it stops. So what you'd be doing is you might be, depending on, again, the product and stuff, you might be welding, and then you're getting to the point where the bead's going to run off one side or the other, so you're going to just rotate it, and you can sit there and just keep welding. At this speed, with even my MIG, I think this would be just about perfect for a MIG welding. I'm just looking at it here, and it's like, yeah, it feels about the right speed for a MIG, maybe just a little faster than this even. So the lowest speed is not bad. You could virtually just sit here and just weld and go around the pipe. Yeah, it's that cool. And it does have, let's see, we'll go up to full speed. Yeah, we should be fine. I'll just, whoa, oh yeah, there she goes. Yeah, now there's full speed. Now that would be fine if you had a large product on here and you wanted to, rotate it. You could rotate, weld, rotate, weld, rotate, weld, that kind of thing. And again, because you can do that horizontal or 90-degree, and you could weld on top, turn it, weld on top, turn it, weld. Especially if you're putting fins on this because you were making a rocket or, something. I'll provide links in the description below where you can find this. Also, better mention right now, I'll see if I can get you like 5% coupon or something too off that price. And this is available here in the US, of course, with the 110 plug, but Vevor actually offers this in 220 and 110. So if you're overseas or another foreign country somewhere where they use 220, you can still get one of these. Yes, and it's going to improve and make your life a whole lot better if you're having to weld, this sort of activity where you're welding pipes and things together. It's great. And this table here is really interesting because it has slots in it, and also has some it's got some bolt downs here even, so you can actually put some larger flanges on here and again rotate them and clamp them onto this table. So it's a nice, really handy accessory to any welding shop, really. I just talked to a guy last week that does welding over at, he does some contract welding with the NASA. Yeah, we're near Houston, and NASA is a thing around here, so some people do work for NASA. And he was telling me that it would be a real nice item even in his shop. He liked it. He says, yeah, he says that would be something to have. It's just something, he actually does not have that. I was like, wow, cool. Another quick warning here too is this contact here to the plate, they ship this with a lot of oil on it to protect it in shipping from, rusting or corroding, whatever. And you may want to get a cloth and take some degreaser and just clean this off real good, just to make sure you've got absolute good contact right there, because obviously this is the ground side or earth side of the table. Yeah. The other item, which I mentioned earlier, was there's some holes back here for bolting stuff, and you can put a rest on this thing if you need to. And because when you're welding, a lot of times both hands get tied up with stuff, but you have your foot switch so you can move your material around. And the nice thing here is you can put a steady rest on here and actually put something here. And that's why I mentioned if you had a large round item and you were trying to cut it with like a pilot arc, plasma cutter, something like that, it would be nice because you could actually build a little stand here, have the pilot arc, set it, dial it into exactly where you want the cut, and then circle around and do the whole cut using this machine, and you'd have a heck of a nice job. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the speed. I've seen TIG weld with this machine, the DH10, right here from Vevor, and it was about 3 when he was doing the TIG, and the weld was beautiful. So I don't think the speed is a problem. There was somebody on the internet that mentioned that they thought it needed to be slower, and I'm gonna say I don't, that's fine if that's what you need, but I'm looking at it and the slow speed on there right now, that's fine. And I can always just, sit there and jog around if I have to, need be, with my foot switch, while I'm doing my weld. So I really don't think there's a speed problem here, but somebody did mention it, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna cover that because I'm not seeing the same thing apparently. The other thing, I guess I should get back to it too. If there's no discount there immediately, sometimes come back to the channel and check later on the show. Sometimes takes a couple days or something, and in fact, anytime in the future they send me over a discount code or something, I will put it in there in the description below the product link, just in case something shows up late on, because a lot of times it does. Sometimes we have it right away, sometimes it's a couple days, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, here's a extra code that'll get you a little bit more money off if you're interested in buying a machine like this for the shop. And this doesn't have to be a professional shop or anything too. Anyone that's in a hobbyist situation where you're dealing with round objects and you want to be able to weld nicely and have a machine like this, again, you know, very handy around the shop, and will definitely make it a lot easier to deal with when it comes to doing, you know, anything round or pipe and stuff where you gotta, you know, move the material around. It's this is a nice item. Trying to answer a few questions here, and I realized that I probably should have showed this because it's kind of a made a rat's nest out of it, but there is lots and lots of cord here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a good 10 feet of cord or something on there for that. Now, I haven't got this squared up perfectly. I didn't even bother. I just sort of threw it on there, tightened the chuck, and we went to town. But yeah, because it's not really centered up real well. I probably should have even checked the pipe itself. This cut on this pipe might not even be square, which would throw everything off a little bit. I could have chucked it in a lathe or something and cut it and then put it on. But I really wanted that hole because visually, you guys, that way you guys can see how fast or how slow this thing is operating. And in fact, let's see how slow we can make it. See if we can get rid of. There's the bottom right there. And as you can see, that thing is, yeah, that's moving slow enough to weld, you know, to just sit here and just burn it like that. In fact, it might even be a little too slow with a MIG or anything like that, or a TIG, to sit here and weld at that speed, because it is really crawling along. I don't think I want to go any slower than that. That's pretty cool. Okay, now this Thursday we're going to do a draw. We're going to be giving away a multimeter coming Thursday, and then hopefully next week we'll have another prize or something to give away to viewers, because I used to love giving stuff away. It's been kind of tough times, you know, but we're doing our best to get back on our feet or whatever. So Vevor, I think for the price and everything, fantastic deal. Oh, by the way, some of the big ones that Vevor has, they have like 6 or 7 different models. Some of them are actually sold out, so they must be pretty good, you know, because the industry seems to, you know, sometimes when they find out about something and it's a good price, good quality, everything works great, they'll swallow it up on you, and you and me, sometimes we don't even get a shot at it, you know. I will check one other thing, and when I come back I'll tell you. I'm going to check and see if it's in the U.S. warehouses over here. I think it is, but let me find out, and then I'll get right back to you in a second. Okay, the other thing I'm going to show you, and it's going to be, I can just show you a picture of it. These squares back here, you could also get aftermarket rollers that sit here, so that when you're running something that, let's see if we can unlock this. Let's see if we can get this unlocked. And say you're running something that's large and round, not so long, I'm having trouble with this even. We can put a set of rollers here for something very large that needs to be rotated, and you can again hook it to the plate and sit there and rotate it very slowly so you can weld. Yeah, it just has a lot of, let's face it, there is a lot of things you can do with something like this. Yeah, next, this Thursday we're giving away a multimeter to a viewer, so that's a cool thing, and just wanted to remind you of that because I'm going to get out of here because it's southeastern Texas now. Looks like the storm has rolled through while we've been taping today, but you know, I think that was it for now, but I think we do have more rain in the forecast and whatever weather this week, but it's helped to cool it off. Yeah, I got up this morning, it was only 80, you know. Woo. Meantime, I'm out of here. Over and out.